2015 has been a horror year in France, bookended with the Charlie Hebdo and kosher supermarket attacks in January, followed this November by 6 attacks with an even greater death toll. So, seeing the pages of the Jewish News this week expressing solidarity made me question why multiculturalism has failed so badly in France. What are the reasons for the worst sort of violence that we have seen in a lifetime in this place? And is the Muslim community solely to blame? What's the reason behind it?
Half of France's unemployed are Muslim, and half the jail population is defined as being of foreign origin.
We're looking here at the coastal city in France of Marseille.
Beyond the postcard visage of the harbour lies a tough cosmopolitan city with a violent reputation, where drugs are traded in the street as openly as vegetables. It's a town where most simply struggle to get by in life and to pray to their God in peace. 1 in 4 people here are Muslim, of Algerian, Moroccan, Tunisian or West African descent.
So we're talking about mass immigration from the past. Where do they all enter French life? How does it all come together? Where does it start?
That difficult life starts here, in one of the city's 20 public housing estates. Most were hastily erected in the early 1960s for Algerians who fled the bitter war of independence from France.
You may well ask, are the French Muslims doing right by themselves? But question whether or not, after all these years, the French government is doing everything they need to do to help people who, after all said and done, have been there for quite some time.
For this, he pays the equivalent of $450 a month.
Je suis asthmatique, moi. J'ai 69 ans, j'ai la machine à oxygène, toute la nuit, oxygène. Ma mère, elle est diabétique, et paralysée, elle ne peut pas marcher. Moi, je lui donne à manger.
The bitterness, heightened by a perception that while born in France, they're still regarded as foreigners. Nothing more than a burden to the state.
Je suis français, de nationalité.
That's your card. And how long has your mother been here?
60 ans.
And they still won't come and work on your apartment because your mother's not considered French?
C'est une excuse.
France, the country of Descartes, Boulay, Monet, Sartre, Rousseau, Camus, Renoir, Berlioz, Cézanne, Gauguin, Hugo, Voltaire, Matisse, Debussy, Ravel, Sanson, Bizet, Satie, Pasteur, Molière, Frank, Zola, Balzac, Poulenc.
That's exactly my point. How could it end up like this? How could multiculturalism go so badly wrong? One of the earliest examples of multiculturalism is the impact Islam had on Judaism. Let's hear from Jonathan Sachs about an old rabbi.
Like Moses Maimonides, the greatest rabbi of the Middle Ages, whose not only his philosophy, but almost every aspect of his work was influenced by and stimulated by Islam. His creation of this magnificent legal code was inspired by Sharia codes. His formulation of the principles of Jewish faith was inspired by the fact that Muslim thinkers had done this wonderful presentation of Islamic faith. So it spread from Islam to Judaism. It then spread to Christianity through Maimonides and influenced a figure like Aquinas. So you have Islam leading Europe out of the Dark Ages and showing what might not be a 21st century standard of liberal democracy, as it were, but a standard of tolerance and mutual acceptance that was never rivaled in the whole of the Middle Ages anywhere else in Europe.
Let's be clear here. It's not multiculturalism or Islam that is to blame for the worst of actions by these heinous individuals. And let's hear from our Islamic friends on this subject.
The ISIS do not represent Islam or any Muslim.
Because it's totally un-Islamic.
Because you're killing innocent people.
Because you're unjust.
We must all unite together and try to stop this group from damaging Islam and damaging Muslims.
Not in my name.
Because your leader is a liar.
Because your actions do not represent the actions of the rightly guided companions.
Because your caliphate doesn't represent the Ummah.
Because what you're doing is inhumane.
Because you abuse heart and minds.
Because you have no compassion.
Because my religion promotes tolerance for women and you have no respect for women.
Not in my name.
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 But we always say this prayer, and this is the prayer I share with Muslims, Jews and Christians and people of other faiths throughout the world. Oseh Shalom Bimramav. May God, who makes peace in his high places, help us make peace down here on earth. Amen.